I'm going to share what's our strategy for Singapore. We started this Future Comms national program on 5G Beyond in 2021 until 2025. Today's theme is on O-RAN, and that's our strategy actually way back when we think about what is actually 5G. A big part of translation is on Open RAN. So actually we have been working on this since 2020 until now. So we're going to share some of the outcomes in this process. So as we plan this $15 million US, part of it is to bring the ecosystem, it's just like what Oro is trying to do, get our universities, research institute to look at topics that are important to 5G and beyond, like MEC, network orchestration, URLCC, security especially, integrated sensing comms, and of course, non-terrestrial network. Non-terrestrial network is going to be evolved as we evolve to the, for example, the new form of satellite, regenerative satellite, which can be also in a form of Open RAN, where you have the DUC split. So there's another evolving direction we can look upon for these open technologies. And I'll not dwell into other topics. Another part is actually what Aura is actually doing aligned with us. It's actually build the ecosystem with like-minded international partners. Some of the partners are way ahead. For example, the 6G program in Finland or the O-RAN programs in Finland, US. We have partnerships with Korea, Finland. We are discussing with Japan and also UK. I can update that. And also key industry partners, because we really need the ecosystem of the partners in industry to buy in this, especially in what we are doing. I'll elaborate how our ecosystem has evolved. We have built over the 2 years. And also part of the committee. It's essentially to work, we actually has to be a partner of, for example, O-RAN Alliance, which I'll update how we actually involved in O-RAN Alliance, especially from the point of OTIC, and also other consortium, NGMN, WRI, 3GPP, which I think the previous speaker has mentioned in the standards committee. The next part is, in the end, it needs to evolve, affect our ecosystem, whether it's in Philippines or local ecosystem. How do we bring this technology, for example, for Singapore point of view, how do we change the future mobility, future maritime, future land, and smart manufacturing? So these are actually some of these translation grants that we hope that have POC in all these different industry to take up these new technologies. Then I'll just share more on our test bed. So essentially, a big part, you really need to get your hands dirty to work on it. So actually, we have this test bed since 2021. It's actually based on Open RAN. It's actually follow 3GP, as what a lot of speakers have mentioned. It's modular, it's software defined and reconfigurable. So I just want to share, this is actually, I've seen this, this is actually from QCT. We have this O-RAN set up back in December 2021. Essentially, we work with the vendor together with our test bed team to actually deploy this, which what's actually important is actually your application and use case. So you have this network, but what is it used for? Which I will elaborate. The top process in linking up with applications. We have two spectrum that we are used for testing and for research. One is at 3.5, another mmWave. We're actually planning our mmWave deployment O-RAN by end of the year, which hopefully I can share more in the near future. So let's look at the use case. So in doing this, actually we set up a drone arena. So this is where our university SUTD is. The reason why you can see this net in the garden, because we're actually very close to the airport. There's actually no fly zone. So we have to net it up. But you see these two RU. So these are actually Open RAN outdoor RU. So you actually have a 5G actually drone arena. So our goal is actually we look at a few use cases. Drone arena for research education. For example, you want to understand security in using 5G drone. You want to do testing. You want to do security. You want to do data collection. But another thing that we're actually looking is this XR drone racing competition. Hopefully by end of the year, we'll be ready. You have two drones actually flying this drone arena. The player will be controlling the drone over XR goggles in another building by this connecting over this 5G private network. So our goal is that the player will actually remote control the drone, but what actually the player sees is a virtual world. So you actually want to augment this drone over from some virtual world. We're thinking about Harry Potter, we're thinking about Star Wars. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can connect virtual with physical. So this is one of the direction we're looking at. Another use case is because we are in a university. So university, we have a lot of classrooms. But we want to understand how does this future open RAN or future technologies evolve this private campus network. So what we have in mind is that because everybody experiences COVID and all universities adopted online learning. Well, a lot of students do this Zoom learning, and the user experience was not very pleasant as feedback from the students. So our concept is can the future communication technology, whether it's open RAN, change the way that the education is actually delivered? How do we actually combine cyber and physical world? So we actually coin this word cyber physical campus. In a sense, how will it change with the new introduction of sensors or devices or ORAN? How would this 3D, 2D remote learning, remote work experience change? How would this new communication change? So it's something we want to try together, of course, with the GAI, generative AI coming. So something we hope to share more in the near future. Within our lab, we actually have a space to look at this connectivity for metaverse, in a sense that Web3 is going to be very big, in a sense that what Web2 has changed mobile internet. We feel that Web3 will actually enable a new user experience with a lot of possibility. Then the question is, how does connectivity play a role in metaverse? In the future, you can think of autonomous vehicle, autonomous bus, where users on this autonomous platform can actually connect to the metaverse. But then connectivity becomes an important role. Then how does it integrate the physical cyber world? How do we introduce this ORAN 5G or edge computing or radar and AR VR together? So this is also some site that we have. We hope that you have opportunity to visit us. We should be ready in a few months' time. Another part is back to this ORAN Alliance. In order to actually contribute to the whole ecosystem, we need to be part of this ORAN Alliance. So we actually announced this first ORAN Open Testing Integration Center, OTIC, at MWC this year in February. So that's the first in Southeast Asia. So our goal is actually we want to contribute to the ecosystem to bring a venue where vendors or where academias or can actually work. Is a platform to look at a few key areas. Security is very important, sustainability, and as well as AI ML. So I'll actually show you what we have in a few slides time. ORAN accessibility, of course, is important. It's not the key priority now, but it will be as we deploy large-scale deployment. Essentially, we want to understand what is the standard. It's essentially requirement in a different module, for example, ORU, your DU, CU, or even at your core network. So this is important to look at the use case, the partners, and work with governments and telco to set the standard. Sustainability will be very crucial particularly for ASEAN, especially, a lot of our countries, Singapore, likewise Philippines, we are a lot of island, and increasing water level is going to be detrimental for all of us. So sustainability is very important, especially tied to telco infrastructure. So apart to do this is some outcome that we've done together with Quanta Cloud Technology, Keysight, and MWC this February. So essentially, we demonstrate some of these capabilities, securities, resilience, especially in the front hall with different type of attacks. So one important outcome that we should do is essentially we need to let the community, especially MWC, where there's a lot of ecosystem in mobile technology, to know what we've been doing. So that's also something we can work with Aura and different vendors together. So this is a publicized event that we will be organized in Singapore, August 23rd, 24th, SUTD. This is the first global OTIC summit. The whole goal is to bring together the community. There's multiple OTICs around, there's 15, to bring them together to actually help leverage and share best practices, your lab setup, your testing, your certification process. How do we accelerate adoption? Look at the use case. How do we showcase? How do we work with the right vendors? Because there's different vendors around, and essentially help the operators to accept the different certification and badging so that we actually can accelerate this ORAN technologies around our region first, then to other parts of the world. These are some of the partners that we have established across the 2 years. There are more. They'll be joining us. There's universities, there's agencies, there's SME small, medium companies. There's also big companies, there are ORAN companies, there's measurement companies. I think Johnson's is there from BIV. Is also partners with us at the FCP lab. In summary, the reason why Singapore is actually doing this, not just for future comms, but we feel that it's actually very important technology. We feel that Singapore can serve its role in some way as an ideal entry point for Asia or ASEAN market by working with Philippines. For us, neutrality is important. Particularly, we feel Open RAN should be neutral for integration, for vendors, for service provision. And our goal is actually to have a consortium, work with strategic partners, universities, like what Aura is doing, but beyond Singapore, with the right in Asia. And this program, as a director, I hope that it will help Singapore to establish leadership in this role, and is a long-term investment by the Singapore government. And we welcome any partners to work with us in Open RAN and of course 6G, which I have not elaborated so much